pitcher. Like, let's be real. Like, I do think I have Walter Johnson ahead of him comfortably, though.
I didn't have anybody in the dead ball era ahead of him.
Yeah.
Just because it's. I mean, those guys. I know Walter Johnson allegedly threw 95 to 100. Most of those guys were throwing 80. So it's like, and that's the thing about Nolan Ryan too, is that the guy was throwing 102 his rookie year, and then when he retired at the age of 45, he's still throwing 102. I mean, that's impressive. Maddox went from 98 as a rookie to like 95 in his peak, down to like 86 when like the end of his career.
Yeah, and was arguably better when he was throwing 86 though.
I don't think even close to better than when he was 95.
I mean, he was just. I mean, he's the ultimate cerebral pitcher, in my opinion. The guy was just a genius.
Over like Jamie Moyer?
Yeah. I mean, Greg Maddux just knew. I mean, I think he invented like painting corners, essentially. I mean, he didn't invent it, but he made it like cool.
Yeah. But anyways, hey guys, joining us for talking about pitchers and Nolan Ryan. I know we have kind of our soft open here. Basically, just wanted to say how's it going. We're going to get the video going here in just a second. If you notice, I'm up in my attic today, which means that we're probably going to have some skippiness during the show. Bear with us. Feel free to comment. We love the comments. We're going to need them today. We don't have a ton of news to go through, so hit us up with the comments and enjoy the video.
Jordan. Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan. Drives one out to deep left field. This one's got a chance to get out of here. Gone! 3-run Jimmy Jack first big league home run for Mike Trout.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line by Malcolm Butler.
And an 81-point game. 55 in the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed the second greatest scoring performance in NBA history.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Infinity Sports. I'm Wayne G, joined as always by Sully. What's going on?
Yo, how's it going, folks? Let's go Rays, baby!
That's right. We're going to talk about some World Series here when we get into things. Just wanted to welcome everybody. Obviously, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, then you're watching us on the Infinity Sports page, the RTF Sports page, the All Access Sports page.
What is that?
Yeah, no, we got to start calling it by the right name. Apparently, there was a meeting, and it's not great calling it the All ACCS
All
Network.
ACCS Network? Oh.
it didn't go over great.
Throws me off every time I see it.
But it's I thought it was funny. But, like most things that you think
it dies quickly. Yeah, that we think are funny or not funny.
But thank you for joining us. Again, you can, if you miss any part of the show, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. You can listen to us there. You can go to YouTube and find the show and watch the video, unless it's last week's show when we got booted for copyright infringement for putting a 30-second clip of The Office.
Twice now, man. They catch us quick, too. Facebook is good. They're good.
Oh, they're right on it. They have some sort of algorithm.
In like 5 minutes, man. It's nuts. They shut that shit down real quick.
You can find us on social media at Infinity Sports Podcast, at Infinity Sports Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, as well as at Sports Infinity 5 on Twitter. www.infinitysportspodcast.com is our website. We have blogs there. We also have links to all of the social media, and we have a store where you can find great merchandise, Infinity Sports. I just changed the logo a little bit. I don't know if you saw that with my profile picture, but I changed the logo a tiny bit to make it a little bit cleaner for merchandise like T-shirts and stuff, because that brown and gold kind of gets all mixed up.
I can't tell.
Okay.
Did you
no,
make
it's not on this one.
Oh.
It's on my profile picture.
Oh, I feel you, dog.
So that's pretty much our intro. Oh, we got some comments already. Thank goodness, because like I said, we got some time to kill today. Triple Shot Sports says Nolan Ryan was better than a lot of pitchers all time, but there are at least 15 ahead of him. So we're going to talk about it, and you're going to lose that one too.
Yeah, 15 is difficult. I really have to look down. I look at it and by piece by piece. I think I'd have him in my top 15, but I firmly don't think I'd have him in my top 10. So,
and then Rays in 7. So he's.
I got to agree. I think it's going to be Rays in 6, but I mean, obviously, it could very easily go 7. I think we're going to go deeper into it later on in the show. But yeah, I mean, even though it's my hometown team, I think we're really set up to win this series.
So I had mentioned earlier, that usually every show I say, hey, we got a great show, got all these big things lined up, and today's show we actually are kind of talking about being a little bit more looser and relaxed, and so for that reason I had very, very little prep into this show. And hopefully you guys will be entertained anyways. Triple Shot Sports does say again, Rays are so deep for pitching.
All right, fuck it. Let's just do it. Yeah, we're going to talk about the World Series right now. I got the Rays in 6, and I think that's where it comes into play. I think our bullpen and overall hey, look at that. We do have graphics. And overall our starting pitching, Morton, Snell, Glasnow is a really tough 1, 2, 3 to crack. And I think they're going to be the difference along with the bullpen. Fairbanks is obviously doing well. My issue is our offense went really stagnant in this championship series, and Randy was essentially our entire offense. Outside of him, we hit 183. So as a ball club, so I mean we can't do that again, obviously. But I don't know. I think we got a shot. I know you don't watch much baseball, but what do you got?
Well, I just go by the box score, and so when I was writing down my stats, go out over basically the Dodgers, lineup is just a nightmare to pitch to, no matter how deep your pitching is. I mean, I was looking at last series, Jock Peterson hit, 389. He hit 400 in the divisional series, so he's on fire. I know Randy is too, and I have a little side note with him. Corey Seager hit 310 with 5 home runs last series. He hit 364 the series before that. I mean, they're just hitting on all cylinders. Mookie Betts hasn't really done much, but he can. So he's another guy you don't want to pitch to, And so they just have their lineup is so scary. I don't know.
I agree. I do think their lineup is insanely difficult. Again, I think our pitching staff is just really that good. If we get into the 6th, it's pretty much shut down after that. There are a lot of guys who can eat up a lot of innings and do a lot of damage. I think no days off is where Dodgers gain on them. If it were a normal series, I'd have the Rays in 5. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Obviously, if we got to go deep into a game, the Dodgers are going to gain because, this no days off is a whole new thing. It's weird. I love it as a fan because you get to see baseball every freaking day. But, yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to be here. I can't imagine winning it right now. I'm so excited. If the Lightning and the Rays win, your boy might just do something crazy.
Yeah. I'd love to see the craziness. Speaking of Randy, I was trying to look up who he is. I'm like, who is this guy? Because he's turning up all postseason. And I guess he's a Cuban defector, went to Mexico, signed with the Cardinals for like $1.3 million or something like that. The Rays traded their top pitching prospect for him because they really liked the guy. But yeah, I was looking at it. I was like, man, never heard of him. And then even during the season, because I was like, he only played 23 games this season. He still hit 7 home runs in 23 games. Hit 281. So I was like, wow, where does this guy come from? Was he a top draft pick? No, he's one of those Cuban guys who turned out better than Rusney Castillo. So I was like,
yeah, I mean, obviously he's been a godsend for us in our lineup. Everything brushes the baseball. Brandon Lowe, like he is, it's really good that he's in there and picking up the slack. Hey, look at you skipping for the first time.
Oh, nice.
It's really nice to have him in there. Yeah, picking up the slack and just crushing the baseball. Essentially, he's pretty much our entire offense. Manuel Margot is putting a lot on his shoulders too. But I mean, honestly, our defense is no laughing matter either. Obviously. But either is the Dodgers. I mean, this is going to be a great series. We were the 2 best teams in baseball. It's the highest combined winning percentage in a World Series ever.
All right. I guess it should be a good one. Obviously, they both went 7 games. Were you sweating at all? Did you think Houston was going to pull it out there?
Yeah, I was sweating. You don't go up 3-0, then lose 3 games, and your butthole it was. I mean, just tight in Game 7. I was working too. Thankfully, my manager with me was cool enough to cover while I was watching, And man, I was so nervous. I couldn't my heart was beating out of my chest. I must have gained 4 years for sure.
Triple Shot Sports says Zunino is underrated as a catcher.
I agree. I mean, he's another guy with timely hitting. That's kind of our routine this year has just been timely hitting, especially this last series. And I mean, he plays great defense. You know, he's a Ray ball player. I mean, it's tough to see this, last, I think, but we need one more series. We need one more series, guys. Man.
We'll see how it goes. I definitely, I would, if I was betting, I'd probably bet in the Dodgers. That lineup's just tough. I don't love their pitching. I think the Rays have better pitching, but just that lineup from top to bottom is just insanity.
It is. It's really scary. It's really scary. We're going to have to keep all games under 5 to win. So
now the next bit of news we have, and we're kind of teasing this because we were talking about doing it Wednesday, but since I have the graphics, one of only 2 graphics that I have for the show, we were talking about doing a 6 degrees of Shaq. And what I tried to do is I tried to get images here of 6 of them and 6 Shaqs and 6 different jerseys that he played in. And I know, I'm a huge 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon fan, and I actually mentioned something to the effect of, I can do anybody in 3. Forget 6. I do anybody in 3 with Kevin Bacon. With Shaq, I understand we're talking about teammates, right? So, I mean, give me an example of an example of what you were thinking if you throw out a name.
Okay, so, I mean, I haven't even thought, but let me think of a name.
Because for me, I think an easy one.
Karl Malone.
They played on the same team in 2004.
Did they?
Yeah. That 2004 team lost
that team. All right, I didn't think he was on that team. Might be done. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to sit down and think. But yes, something into the effect that they had to play as teammates, then that teammate had to play as a teammate with somebody else.
So I was going to give you an easy one and say Michael Jordan.
That's an easy one. All right,
yeah.
So I got to get to Scotty, who's on the Blazers. Or I got to get Horace Grant.
There you go. What teams?
Miami.
No, Jesus Christ.
I mean, not Miami, Orlando. Jesus. I'm literally looking straight at the jersey on the left and saying the words Miami. I'm looking at the Orlando jersey and saying Miami. Orlando and then Chicago. Yes, but yes,
okay.
Exactly. And then
Horace Grant played in Los Angeles too.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. But yes, I mean something. Yes, to that effect. I mean, you get what I'm saying. I mean, everybody knows what 6 degrees of Shaq means. But yes, you go much. Hopefully, we can get it. We can go much deeper.
What's this? You feel now how I felt in 2016. So I'm guessing.
Yeah,
the
hopefully,
Cubs.
I can feel like you felt at the end of that series too, man. So I mean, I'm hoping and I'm praying and I'm wishing and I'm Jesus. I mean, I can't. Oof. I can't really express how I feel. I truly can't.
Now, little basketball news. We were just talking
real quick. Happy birthday to my dad, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday, Mr. S.
Dave.
Dave. Okay, just goes by Dave.
I mean, yeah, I've never heard anybody call him Mr. Sullivan. I mean, I have, but he's Dave.
Have you ever been called Mr. Sullivan?
He's a hard Dave. Yes, unfortunately. I don't like it. Mr. Sullivan is when you're in trouble.
No, so my first time ever being called Mr. Gregoire was when I worked at Shaw's, and they would page the managers over the loudspeaker, and if you were a manager, you got Mr. And so I was the manager, I was a grocery manager, and they'd be like, Mr. Gregoire, you have a call on, and whatever. I'm like, man, just say Wayne. Just say, it's fine. I understand.
Yeah, exactly. Can you just say Wayne? No, I mean, honestly, I go by Sully pretty much everywhere. So you don't like Mr. Sully. So it's really just, hey, Sully. And it's very informal. But yeah, I mean, even as I'm a manager at my current job and it's Sully, everywhere. So.
I will say a little bit of movie thing. I'll throw some movie stuff in there every episode. But movie thing, Mr. Holland's Opus. Love it. Great movie. The kid
I've
who
seen
gets in
it.
trouble.
I couldn't remember a scene in my life, but I know I've seen it. But
there's so many great scenes in that. But the kid in the class that gets in trouble is Mr. Sullivan. So it's like, Mr. Sullivan, principal's office.
Yeah, that's when I think of Mr. Sullivan, I think of sitting in the principal's office and being yelled at.
All right, a couple more comments here. Let's see. Will you cry like I did? Is Triple Shot Sports asked if you'll cry when Tampa Bay wins. I don't think so, because it hasn't been since night. I mean, the Cubs didn't go to the World Series.
I will cry.
Really?
Yeah.
He said I sobbed like a child.
Yeah, I cried when we just made it this last time. I just love the team. I really do. It's just my hometown team. 98, I was 11. You know what I mean? So that's like the heart of when you're playing baseball. That's the heart of when I was playing baseball. Me and my dad would go to games. It's just how can you not be romantic about baseball?
Yeah. The last time I can remember actually crying over a professional sport, I was 12, 13 years old, and I was a Dallas Cowboys fan growing up. And the Cowboys were in the NFC Championship against the 49ers, and it was 21-0 in the first quarter, 49ers. And I got home from something, and I was like, all right, I got to turn the game on. And my grandfather goes, "Oh, it's already 21-0." I thought he was joking. I was like, "No, it's not." Yeah, and it was, and I started bawling.
That's awesome. How do you remember that? I don't remember anything I did when I was 12. I lied. I remember some things, but that's wild.
I have a great memory.
Yeah, I'm a crier,
Okay. Some basketball news. We talked about Shaq. Tyronn Lue supposedly, I guess, is going to be the head coach of the Clippers. Yep. And we talked about Doc Rivers being basically not an upgrade going to Philadelphia, but being kind of like the same grade. And Tyronn Lue, I think, is actually a downgrade from Doc Rivers.
I would call it, honestly, maybe. I'd honestly say it's kind of the same level as well. I definitely don't think it's an upgrade. We'll see. I'm not sure how he's going to fit. Kawhi's a weird guy. You kind of got to figure out Kawhi to make anything happen. And hopefully Tyronn Lue can do that. We'll see. He was a decent coach, so I think he can make things happen. I don't know if he's an elite coach. I wouldn't call them that by any means, but I don't really know if it makes a difference in the West.
I don't think it does, especially that's my next question is what do you think the Lakers are going to do? Is all speculation on like Chris Paul? The Clippers are going to trade Paul George because that was a mistake supposedly. So all this stuff's going to happen. I actually like the idea of Chris Paul to the Lakers. I think that's a great fit with that team.
It's a match made in heaven if that happens. I don't know how they afford the 3 kind of max player deals, though. I guess you can have 3 maxes now, though. But I don't know. Anthony Davis opted out of his player option and then accepted a different deal or something. I don't know, but I don't know if that was for less money or more money. If it was for less money, then it may set up some free agent moves. I'm not sure. I did see a rumor the other day on Twitter. Russell Westbrook, they posted it in the FBAS feed. It was a Russell Westbrook involved trade, Eric Gordon, and somebody else for Joel Embiid to the Rockets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, I actually like the idea of Embiid playing with Westbrook.
See, I don't know. I like it with Harden more. Yeah, all right. So it's Russell Westbrook, Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, and draft picks to get Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I don't know. Because now you're getting 2 guards. Your backcourt in Philadelphia can't shoot threes. They're wildly athletic, but it just doesn't seem to be a fit. I like the idea of Russell Westbrook and Joel Embiid as teammates more than Harden and Embiid, even though Harden's the much better player. Because I think Westbrook, we can agree, its effort is never in question. And I would hope that some of that would rub off on Embiid.
It probably wouldn't. I just can't. I just think. Wow, he's literally
a far better player than Westbrook, even as a facilitator. Well, thanks for joining the show, Ben. I'm glad you're checking it out. Ben actually, I was on his show. He does a show called Ad Hominem, and so I encourage people to pick that up because I talked with him about several political issues, and it's always great to talk with Ben because he's a very, like myself, very kind of open-minded, level guy.
Yeah. I agree with him. I think Harden's a much better facilitator, and that's where I think him and Joel Embiid would fit, I think, much better. I just think they would work with each other more, a little off the ball a little better than I think Russell Westbrook would. I don't think Russell Westbrook offers anything, as an outside game. He just doesn't. So,
no, that's true.
He shoots 27% from 3.
And I guess it depends really on how badly you want Embiid, because like we talked about, if he's going to play 44 games, then what's the point?
Yeah, then what's his worth really is,
Because Russ is going to give you 80 games. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so those are the two big basketball news. Like I said, the Lakers we talked about. Do you think Paul George gets traded?
I don't. I just don't see why they would move on him that fast. I don't see the point. And then what are you really going to get for him? He's never been as low. Like, his stock's never been lower. So, like, really, what are you going to, like... I mean, what are you
That's unfortunate, because to me, Paul George is a great defensive player, a good perimeter defender, and he can score. We've seen him average 25 points per game. So, and he actually had a good regular season. He just had a bad bubble,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of sucks, because I wouldn't trade him, because I think that he is a perfect fit for Kawhi Leonard. The two of them on the perimeter are just great defensive players.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd keep it together, and I'd just try to, improve the third player scoring or things like that. Again, what are you going to get for him that's going to be any better? I think I love Paul George. I love his fit. This is turning into more of a perimeter game, so having two elite perimeter defenders is, a luxury right now.
And I'm gonna say this: I don't love Kawhi Leonard, and
What?
I think he's a great player. I'm not saying I don't think he's good. I don't like anybody that can't play for Greg Popovich. If you can't play for Pop, then I wouldn't want you on my team.
I mean, he could. He didn't like the way. I'm pretty sure it had something to do with the medical staff, and didn't like the way the medical staff was being handled. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And he got lied to about an injury, so he was like, "I'm just not playing for this franchise anymore." I don't think it had anything to do with playing for Pop, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Triple Shot Sports says, he was battling depression in the bubble, so I think it's hard to move on him because of that. I just move on from him.
See, I didn't know that. I hadn't heard that yet. That could very well be true. A lot of people didn't deal well with being in a bubble. I don't, I can't attest to that. I loved the bubble. I love being, inside. I'm a homebody anyway. So, but, he could have been battling demons, and who knows?
Now, I'm not sure how depression really affects you as an athlete. I'm back. I saw a little dial there.
Yeah. All right, you're back.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're back.
I was saying I don't know how depression really affects you in the bubble. I'd have to ask Skip Bayless, how athletes deal with the depression.
Ah, dick.
So that kind of covers all of our sports before we get to football. Now, I know you guys are used to seeing the football helmet graphics at the bottom of the screen. Didn't really have time to do that this weekend. I was busy building a retaining wall in my driveway, which I would have much rather been doing the helmets.
Sounds
exciting. It came out great, by the way. Yeah, you would think I was a Mason because it came out fantastic.
Oh, what aren't you good at?
Football. Let's see. So I started off with some of the scores. I was writing them down. The first one I have Titans and the Texans. I just went in the order of whatever NFL.com had it written down. Titans and the Texans, 42-36. Titans. What's that?
What was the record for last week?
Yeah. I got it right here. I think I have it right here.
What the shit, Wayne?
Oh, chill this shit out. Banging stuff around. That's not it either. You know what? We'll
get back to that. Yeah, I guess
Wednesday we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I did write it down though, and I want to say that you were better. You beat me. Over under. I think we tied again. Really close, but I think that against the spread, you did way better than me.
Yeah, no, I remember, and you said that you were going to be like, man, we're opposite on a lot of games. One of us is going to be bad or really good, and I remember I hit a lot of my games, so I was like, damn, Wayne is not going to be happy with his picks this week.
Brandon says, how's my insane 11-5 beers pick looking?
I still don't think you're going to finish 11-5.
Yeah, they're 5-1, right?
I will say I think you're a better – I do, yeah, but I do think you're a better team than I initially gave you credit for. I think I said you guys were going to finish 7-9. I think. I'd have to go back and look. So, I mean, you're obviously going to do better than that, but I don't think much better, truthfully. I think 9-7, 8-8 is kind of going to where you finish. But
I think I had them 3-13.
yeah, you had them very bad. You had I'm pretty sure you had the Vikings as the opposite, right? You had the Vikings at like 11-5 or something really.
Green Bay. I had Green Bay winning the division, and then I can't remember. Yeah, the Vikings might have been 11-5 or something.
Yeah, I think I had the Green Bay winning too. How's my Aaron Rodgers MVP pick looking? It was looking good till last week.
Oh, he looked bad last game.
I mean, this week, yeah. He looked bad against, the best team in the NFC.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, the Titans are 5-0. Obviously, Derrick Henry, 212 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Just a monster. And you know what's funny is Derrick Henry coming into the NFL, I thought, this guy's a monster. And then he didn't do much his rookie year. And I thought, oh, maybe he's just Trent Richardson. But nope, he's good.
I mean, I think that's what a lot of people thought. And then it turned out, nope, he's pretty freaking amazing. The guy's incredibly good. It's just, I mean, it's crazy how he's so big, yet so strong, and yet still so fast. I mean, he broke a 94-yarder. You have to be really fast to do that and not get caught. Like, that's wild to me.
I think my favorite is seeing all of the memes or whatnot of him throwing the defensive back from Buffalo. What was it last week?
Josh Norman? Oh, God, that was the best, dude. He ragdolled him. Legit ragdolled him. Made him look like a child. It was hilarious.
Let's see. Triple Shot Sports, they'll be 6-1 after they beat the Rams on Monday. Possibly. The Rams are weird because sometimes they look really good and sometimes they look like crap. So I don't know. It depends what Rams team shows up.
Yeah, I think the Rams team is one that might be able to cause some difficulty for you, but we'll see.
Derrick Henry throws defenders across the field. Yeah. We've seen it.
He sure does.
There we go. So it says he hit 21.9 miles per hour on that run and told a reporter, that's too slow.
Yeah, I mean, he got that giddy up, and being as big as he is and having speed like that is just a scary, scary combination. I mean, Ryan Tannehill's playing incredible ball, too. The guy had 4 touchdowns, 364 yards. I mean, let's be real. Oh, damn, you went froze. All right, well, then I'm just going to ride this out until Wayne comes back. Deshaun Watson had another great game. I mean, the guys just can't win a ball game. It's so unfair. I mean, he had over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns again. Bill O'Brien is just a killer. Thankfully, he's he's out of there, so that's a good thing. But he built a team that wasn't prepared to succeed for Deshaun Watson. So we'll see if he can come back. All right, we got Wayne back.
Yeah.
Will Fuller has been kind of a revelation. He's come back from the depths of nothingness to be a kind of an elite receiver at this point and the number 1 target for Deshaun Watson. So that's surprising to see.
Yeah, I had Will Fuller here too.
And that was pretty much the end of that game.
So yeah, I had Will Fuller. I was writing the stats down because I wanted to see where he stood as far as the league leading receivers, and he's not really. He's like 12th or 13th, which is still pretty good. But when I saw his stats, I wonder if he's. To be fair, I'm pretty sure he missed 2 games too. So like to be 12th or 13th and missing a game or 2 is really good, I think. Next game we have is the Broncos and the Patriots. This was not a pretty game to watch. 18-12, and
I love when the Patriots lose.
6 field goals for the Broncos, and I mean the Patriots' defense looked okay. They just kept letting the Broncos march into field goal distance. They'd hold them at the goal line. That's what they do. Is in the red zone. The Patriots' defense in the red zone is just nuts. But they give up all these field goals, and Cam Newton just can't do anything. And I was so hoping to get another look at my guy Stidham.
I mean, you would have thought they'd have brought him in. I mean, Cam just didn't look good at all. I mean, he really just didn't. He looked slow as everything, not just slow athletically, like his reads were slow. And I mean, that could just be a side effect of, the virus. in the side effects of the virus. Maybe he, was just, still feeling the effects and whatnot. Maybe it's just missing all those practices. I don't know, but the team looked bad.
It did.
Well, the offense looked bad.
And Triple Shot Sports says, I felt New England and Bill Belichick coach team would be the best equipped to handle a COVID delay. I mean, you can't practice, though. That's the problem.
You're not can't even practice. He had 3 practices in 16 days, but, it's just tough, really, to get anything done when, you're not there having the reps, going through the game plan, things like that. Now, you think a guy with his ability and his veteran presence, he wouldn't need the practice, you would think, but apparently he does.
Kenny Weaver jumps in and says, sounds good, fellas. I don't know if he means
hey, my man Kenny. Nah, definitely not. My man Kenny, that's what's up. Appreciate you for watching, man.
The Steelers obviously improved to 5-0. They show that the Browns are what we thought the Browns were before they went 4-1. So just pounded them.
Yeah, I mean, that defense is scary. They're really, really, really good. They're going to beat a lot of teams. I'm telling you, they're going to be a really tough team to handle in a lot of situations. They can pass the ball. They can run the ball. James Conner had over 100 yards and a touchdown. Chase Claypool has emerged as a serious, legit threat across from Juju. If they ever get Deontay Johnson back healthy, they're scary. Bring up that comment. They very well may be the best team in football. They're scary, scary, scary good.
They are good. I don't know if the best team in football, though. I like the defense a lot. I think that there are teams that I like better than the Steelers.
Who?
I don't know. Well, let me go through my list here of teams. I think the Ravens are better than the Steelers.
No.
I think we'll see when they play each other. That's a team I like better. Definitely not the Bears.
I think really the only teams that can challenge are the Titans, the Chiefs, obviously, and then I think that's it. I think they're the only legitimately 2 teams that could argue are like playing the best football right now. The Titans just look really hard to beat. That offense looks scary. And then obviously Kansas City's tough, but I don't know. I think with Pittsburgh's defense, I think they could be easily the best team in the AFC. I mean, I think the Bucs are better, obviously, but.
Well, I saw the meme. I don't know if it was on Facebook All Sports or on Sports Soup, but it was the one of Baker Mayfield holding his hands up like a touchdown, and then it fades into Johnny Manziel.
I think that's hilarious. It's Baker Mayfield is Johnny Manziel without the cocaine is a meme I saw. And then somebody commented right below it. A friend of mine goes, "So you mean a way less fun Johnny Manziel?"
Triple Shot Sports says they are the best team in football. Chiefs might be the only team that's able to hang with them.
See, I don't know. Realistically, I think the Bucs can too. I mean, I think the Bucs defense is very, very, very good. I mean, we have the number 2 rush defense, and I think the number 12 passing defense. We're really good too, so I think we can hang. And then obviously, I think the Chiefs can hang because they can score. So, but yeah, I mean, I picked the Pittsburgh Steelers to win the division over Baltimore, and I was the only one to do that on here. So flex.
Well, speaking of Baltimore, they improved to 5-1, beating the Eagles 30-28. Another game where Carson Wentz, drops back 40 times. He has 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. But I had this debate with our former co-host Jesse. I think it was yesterday or the day before via Facebook because he hates Carson Wentz. I don't know if he hates him, but
I just messaged him today.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, I understand Carson Wentz is not helping his case with some bad interceptions and bad throws, but I played a little bit of quarterback in high school for the practice team. And then they would put me into the game, to play quarterback. Well, the thing is, the practice team gets the shit kicked out of them, So I would drop back, and I was getting sacked, and you were allowed to hit the quarterback in high school in practice. So I was getting sacked, physically sacked, 25 times a practice just because I was the scout team quarterback. So then when they would put me into the game, I take that snap. You start to hear the helmets cracking, and you just want to get rid of that ball as fast as possible. You're not even looking when you're throwing it. You're just getting rid of it, And so I understand that, what his struggles are. I think Jesse was saying, no, he goes, I understand that. He goes, I think he should take some of the blame, though. And I'm like, I feel like you're trying to put all the blame on him. So.
Carson Wentz in his last 3 games has a quarterback rating over 80 in 2 out of 3 of them, and in the other one, it was 75 or 76. He's played exceptionally well in his last 3 games. You take away his 2-game kind of slump, and I mean, he's rated in the top 10 in quarterback rating. He is playing right now because what's up? Oh, you're frozen out again. But Carson Wentz is now, because Miles Sanders is out and Zach Ertz are out. There were 2 starters now. It's Jason Kelce and Carson Wentz are the only 2 starters they have left from when they started the season. And that's all they have. They're literally playing football with a backup football team. It's insane to kind of expect him to be putting up these gaudy, crazy numbers. It's insane for them to think he can put up these gaudy, crazy numbers when he's got 10 backups on the field or 9 backups on the field. It's wild. It's him and Jason Kelce are the only 2 starters.
Wentz looks better the last 2 weeks. He just has no help. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he doesn't. You don't want to make excuses for a guy because, yes, he isn't playing his best football. But he's not playing his best football because he's playing NFL football with a backup football team against a starting football team. That's really hard to do. I mean, 9 guys on the offense are out. That's insane to think about. Like, that never happens.
Well, speaking of backup football teams, I have the Giants and the Washington football team played each other this past weekend. Both of them are now 1-5, and just 2019 ugly game. Really nothing here to speak of. Now Chase Young only 1 tackle. What's going on with him this season? Like, I thought he was supposed to tear it up.
He was hurt. He's been hurt. He's been playing sporadically. The injury is just kind of affecting him at this point. I think he came back too quickly and things like that. The Washington, put up a good fight. They scored with, I think, 30 seconds left, went for 2 instead of going for the tie, and that's why they lost the game. But, when you're Washington, honestly, I think they're trying to lose games at this point. So going for 2, I think, was a strategy to miss it and lose. I am dead ass serious when I say this. I can't be more serious.
The NFC East winner is going to be 6-10. Possibly. Yeah.
He very well could. I'm dead serious when I say that the coaching staff is like, well, shit, we want to lose this game. Instead of just getting the tie and possibly winning in overtime, let's just go for 2 and call it shit play and fucking lose the game.
Which I don't understand completely, because I don't care how bad they decide to coach and play. Nobody's catching the Jets for the first overall pick.
I mean, you don't know what could happen. If the Jets win a random game, then Washington's in it, baby.
That's a big if.
But yes, you're right. Nobody's catching the Jets. Jets, I'm not going to lie. I never really say this because I don't think it's true, but man, Clemson may beat the Jets.
Yeah, I never say that either.
And I usually think that's very laughable because, let's be real, NFL teams would shit on college teams, but...
Well, and I had that discussion way back when the Lions, way back when we're 0-16, and that was a bad Lions team, like this Jets team, just bad. There's nothing good about them, and people were like, well, could Alabama or whoever beat, and granted, Alabama at that time probably had 27 guys who went in the NFL draft.
Yeah,
30
went on
guys.
to the pros.
But I said no, because I was like, Alabama right now has, let's say, 15 guys that go in that particular draft. So they have 15 NFL players against 52 NFL players. Alabama would actually lose 52-0 or 52-7 to that Lions team.
Exactly. And honestly, the Jets would beat Clemson, I would think, but I don't think it'd be 52-0. But I do agree. NFL players, what people don't understand is, and if the Clemson right now starts 2 freshmen along their defensive line, those guys would get ragdolled by professional NFL players.
Triple Shot Sports says Clyde Edwards-Helaire just fumbled with 5 minutes to go in a 6-point game deep in his own territory.
Shit ass. Damn, he's got 170 today, too. What a dick. Why'd you have to go and fumble?
Yeah. That'll get you benched in New England.
I mean, on a 123 carry, 170 day, you're going to go bench him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you remember Bill Belichick when they had the guy, what was his name? Was it Gray, the running back, that had 211 yards and 4 touchdowns? And then the very next week he got benched and never played again because he was 5 minutes late to practice, and Bill Belichick said, "Go home, don't come back."
Well, that's different. Being late is different than fumbling in a 170-yard game. But I agree. I mean, I don't think you can be late to practice, especially when you're not like a star.
No. I don't even think when you are a star, at least not in New England.
No, I understand, but you're not going to tell your star to go home. You'll punish him. But I agree. You should never be late.
I heard a story. It was who was it? Chad Ochocinco talked about going to New England, and he said that his very first day there, he said it was the first day of practice. They called everybody in the film room, and Bill Belichick brought up some tape from the previous season against the Jets or whoever, and ripped Tom Brady a new asshole for 5 minutes, just laid into Tom Brady, and that's when Ochocinco was like, that set the tone for the rest of the season. I was like, if he's going to do that to Brady, I better never mess up.
Yeah. And I mean, I really like Bill, and I like that style. Nobody's bigger than the team. And I think that's a great way to coach. So I love that.
Nice. Let's see. Fumble overturned. And then he says, shared.
Yep.
Oh, Mike and
This is Mike and Mike.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Mike.
Hey,
what else?
you.
Kansas City won. Oh, nice.
I don't think the game's over, but Kansas City won the challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, Kansas City won. There's still 5 minutes left.
And then Brandon says about time you show up, I'm guessing, to Mike and Mike.
To Mike.
Yeah. So let's see. We'll grab the next team with the Falcons, another bad team, 1-5 against the 1-5 Vikings. Now 40-23, another crap game, a higher scoring game than at least the other crap game. But Matt Ryan 370 yards, Kirk Cousins 343, but he had 3 picks. He's got I think 10 or 11 interceptions on the season. It's double what the next guy has.
No, Carson Wentz is up there too, but Kirk Cousins just took over Carson Wentz for the lead. Yeah, I mean, the Atlanta Falcons are such a weird team, man. They can score with the best of them. Calvin Ridley is a baller. The dude's, I'm pretty sure he's the number 1 fantasy receiver now. Justin Jefferson had another huge game. These rookie receivers this year are doing work, man. We'll talk about it later. Brandon Ayuk scored again for San Francisco. I mean, if you guys listen to the show, that's my boy. So, I mean, these rookie receivers are doing work. Well,
my boy, only because he's not Dan's boy, is T. Higgins, who also had a very good game this week. So, and that's his 8th good game of the season. I don't know. So.
I mean, we'll see what we define good games. Are you frozen again?
Okay.
All right, there you
go. Pat Mahomes on the run is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen on the football field. Just makes shit happen.
I agree. I mean, he's essentially a Aaron Rodgers-esque, the way he just moves around and is always able to make throws. And God, he's just so much fun to watch. I'm so happy I'm living in the time that I can watch him play football.
What I love is the different arm angles, just like a sidearm throw or a little. It was just so good. And
imagine trying to explain to your future son watching Patrick Mahomes play football.
That'd be easier than say. I've always tried to figure out how to explain to a future child. My daughter doesn't give a crap. But if I had a son who was into sports, trying to explain Bo Jackson running the football.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I don't know. And the only way I can explain it is trying to think of people all right, picture Junior Seau with 4.2 speed.
I mean, Bo Jackson was special. I agree. Just watching him run was something special.
So, Triple Shot Sports says, don't you do that. Don't you put him in the same sentence as Aaron Rodgers. I think he doesn't love Aaron Rodgers. He's a Packer.
He doesn't?
No.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is, I think, probably my third best quarterback of all time. I think, so.
Wow, really? Over Peyton Manning?
That's where it's like close. It's probably Peyton, and he's probably fourth. I'll go with him fourth just to be nice. But he's fourth. Yeah. I'm
gonna skip some of these ugly games just because I don't want to talk about them.
Just at least say the score. What was it? Oh, the Bears Panthers 23-16. Yeah, that game was shit.
Yeah.
Dolphins
Lions 34-16.
Dolphins Jets Tua got to play.
I was gonna say that's the good. I was gonna bring up that game just because Tua got through two throws, and I guess they said the entire team was excited for him. Even Fitzpatrick was like, totally
the whole
excited.
Crowd was chanting. It was dope. And then obviously we've all seen the picture now of him full uniform coming back onto the field, FaceTiming his parents. I mean, that's just a beautiful moment.
Yeah, like I said, the Lions 34-16 Jaguars, bunch of just garbage in that game. Actually, no, DeAndre Swift. What?
How about them Jaguars?
Yeah, 1-5. But no, DeAndre Swift, 14 carries, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I kept asking him, like, when are they going to play him? He'd have like 2-3 carries a game. I'm like, put him in there. I mean, is he really that much worse than whoever you got? You know?
I know, right? And you know, I mean, clearly he's explosive. The guy is just, I mean, he's lightning in a bottle. I mean, that average is insane. That's like 9 yards a carry for over 100 yards. It's bonkers.
And see, where I disagreed with you in your draft analysis, which I love doing because I know so much less than you, is that I thought DeAndre Swift is an every down back. And I know you're saying he's more of a receiving back. To me, James White's a receiving back because he's 185 pounds. You know, DeAndre Swift's built a little bit thicker, so I feel like he can run between the tackles and take more punishment.
I mean, I don't think he can. You know, receiving back is, I guess, like maybe a bad term, but I mean, he only had 14 carries, so it's not like they're pounding the rock to him. I think he's still more of a guy that still you're only trying to get 20 touches a game to, and you know, you're designing outside runs. Yeah, I know that drop pass will haunt him for the rest of his life.
Triple shot sports. Triple shot sports.
Triple shot sports.
Yeah, it's like I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, you know, again, another story. So up here in New Hampshire, you know, we see a lot of Jean Shaheen commercials because she's running for Senate.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
Yeah, she's running for Senate, and she was the governor here a little while ago, whatever. But she's got this guy, sounds just like Peter Griffin in her commercial. Kind of looks like him a little bit, but it's so funny because I always wait for it. Whenever the commercial comes on, I'm like, shush. He's coming up.
He's about to come on. Shut up.
And he comes on, and he's just like, yeah, she protected our jobs at the shipyard, but Trump wanted to shut it down.
That's awesome.
Oh man! Every time he comes on, I'm like, everybody shut up so I can hear this guy.
That's fantastic.
Oh, here's your game: Bucks 38-10 over the Packers.
I mean, I called this one. You picked it the other way. I think, like I said, it's the defense. Our defense is scary good. I don't know who thinks it isn't. It's good. It's really good. Our corners, I mean, those young guys are good, man. Jamel Carlton Davis, Sean Murphy Bunting, Antoine Winfield's playing like a defensive rookie of the year right now. We're good, man. We're a good football team. Tom Brady threw for 166 yards and we won 38-10. Let's go!
Now here's one for you. So I found the how we did last week. Against the spread last week, I went 5-6. You went 6-5.
Hey yo.
Over under, I went 2-9. You went 7-4. So
damn, I thought I was better
than
than 5. I'll have to remember some of my games.
Yeah, see the ones you missed on. You had the Rams. The Colts. Which the Colts won, but they didn't cover the spread. Baltimore, Jacksonville, New England.
Because we're both frozen.
Oh, all right. I don't have the black dial. Sometimes that comes up on mine. While we're frozen.
All right.
So the only other games
you were frozen. You're a little circled right now.
Oh, am I? All right.
I can still hear you.
Okay. Well, so the only other game tonight is the Cowboys and the Cardinals. I didn't grab a spread or anything, but I'm taking the Cardinals. I think we talked about it last week anyways.
Dallas is -1.
Oof, I'm definitely taking the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think we did talk about it already, but yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals. Over-under set at 54.5. Take the over. If you didn't take the over at the start of the week, you missed out. But, yeah, take the over, take the Cardinals. The Stone Cold lock it a century at a week.
Brandon says, neither of you were frozen. I heard the whole thing.
Oh, well, how do you like them apples? I thought it was frozen on my side. I couldn't see him, and then I was a spinning dot, and then, yeah, no.
Hopefully we will not be in the attic next episode. So those are all the football scores I had. Oh, no, wait, do I have one more?
How about them Clemson Tigers, man? We were talking about Clemson earlier. 73-7. Now, are they just like, I mean, is there any team that can challenge them at this point, do you think? Now, Alabama looked really good. They put up 28-0, I think, on Georgia in the second half. Mac Jones looked really good. Do you think Alabama can hang? I don't think anybody else outside of Alabama has a shot.
I think Alabama, and let's see what happens with the Big Ten. Exactly, Ohio State's the other team.
Which is fucking bullshit. They've played 4 or 5 games. Like, teams are, like, going down the standings, and Ohio State and Penn State just sit there in the top 10 at 0-0. It makes me so angry.
Right. And you know they're going to start off their season just playing, like, all crap teams.
Yeah, all cupcakes. It's horse shit. I mean, they have to play everyone in the Big Ten. That's all they can play, so.
Yeah, but, I mean, I'm wondering if they're going to put Ohio State up against, Penn State or Michigan right away, or are they going to put – you have to have an Ohio State-Michigan game, but I'm sure they're going to play all the weaker teams because they want Ohio State in that playoff. I mean, if I'm the Big Ten,
sure.
And then we'll see. I guess Justin Fields versus Trevor Lawrence. I like the idea.
I would love to see that head-to-head matchup.
I know that Clemson definitely, as a team, seems incredibly explosive. More so than – I mean, Ohio State's always a defensive-built team, so I don't know.
I mean, Ohio State – I mean, Clemson just has dudes that – like Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence – could be playing for NFL teams right now. They'd be starting and they'd be like contributing players on NFL teams. And I think that's what's going to separate. I mean, they're just good. They're just, oh my God. Travis Etienne should not be still playing football. It's wild.
Yeah, so Ohio State versus Iowa and Northwestern and Illinois.
Yeah, it's how they're starting their season. Yeah, so it's like, they'll be the number 3 team in no time. And then hopefully they just sit there. Hopefully they drop to 4 and we can see Clemson, Ohio State to start. And then Alabama, Notre Dame. I wouldn't have seen that because then they just lose. And then we get an Alabama-Clemson championship.
See, I root for Notre Dame every year, and they start off undefeated, and they look good, and then they run into like the ranked team, like the really good teams, and then they get exposed big time. And even that year, they made it to the NCAA championship. They played Alabama for the championship, and I was like, oh man, they're 11-0. This was the year that Manti Te'o had the fake girlfriend, right? And then they played Alabama, just made them look like a high school team.
I mean, that was one of the funnier championships. Yeah, that's my issue with Notre Dame is I think we've seen it. Now they're playing an ACC schedule, so they're going to have to play some of these better teams. They don't get to play as many cupcakes, I guess, but we'll see. If they could keep winning, let's put it this way, if they win out, they're going to be the number 3 team in the nation.
Triple Shot Sports says nobody will hang with Clemson, and then Trevor Lawrence will tank in the NFL.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't see any way Trevor Lawrence doesn't succeed. I mean, the guy. I get it. The guy's got so much pressure, but he had a ton of pressure coming in Clemson, and he succeeded. And then I just don't see any way he doesn't. He's a flawless prospect.
What I do like about him, because I know that I've always been more team, Fields. What I do like about Trevor Lawrence is he just seems so cool. Like he's never like angry, slamming. It's always just kind of like, whatever.
Yep. I mean, and I think
when 73-7, but
yeah, even when you're doing good things, though, I think he's pretty even, which I like to see too. I mean, and the big thing I'd love to see is have you progressed every year? Like, do you realize what you're bad at and try to get good at it? And he does, you know what I mean? And he has, and I think that's what's different. put that comment up because I'm going to bash this.
Oh, yeah. I was going to skip the Notre Dame comment here by Triple Shot Sports because he said Ryan Leaf was a flawless prospect, too. And no, he was not.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't even close to a flawless prospect. Just because you're the best prospect in a draft doesn't mean you're going to be a flawless prospect. Peyton Manning wasn't even a flawless prospect in his draft. I don't see how you can see any Ryan Leaf in him. He's a 3-year starter who's progressed every year. Ryan Leaf didn't do any of that. He's won championships. He's beat elite teams. He's won at the highest level. Ryan Leaf didn't do any of that. I don't know what you're trying to compare the two as. I really don't. But I mean, they don't even have the same kind of playing style in any kind of way. But hey, to each his own.
I guess they both had big arms.
Yeah, but beyond that, I mean that Trevor Lawrence is a freak athlete. I mean, he's Josh Allen, as an undercover athlete. I think, he can run the ball. He's a big guy. I mean, he's not going to run you over, but he's got the ability to run the football. And I mean, his arm's big. He's got a very accurate arm. I mean, I think his only maybe downfall is his deep ball isn't perfect.
Well, you can improve on that.
Yeah, I agree. But again, cerebrally, he's just ahead of the game as a cerebral player, and that's where he's miles and miles and miles different from Ryan.
Well, and I think you have to remember too
because
that
in his
Ryan
head
Leaf,
he understands it. He's calling audibles in.
Yeah, I would say if you're going to talk about Ryan Leaf in a comp for him would be the guy I also have kind of crapped on a little bit, which is Joe Burrow. Only because Burrow was a one-year wonder. Like the year before, he had 2,000 yards passing or 2,500. Then he explodes for this huge season. Ryan Leaf did the same thing, except I think Joe Burrow is better than Ryan Leaf.
No, I do too. And I mean, Ryan Leaf, again, it's more about the mental aspect of the guy. He wasn't ready mentally. He's, Jamarcus Russell. He's, all these other guys. Now, yes, that's easier to say in hindsight, but I mean, to be fair, I was never a Ryan Leaf fan. Now, granted, I was 98, so I was 11, but I was still watching football. I didn't like Ryan Leaf as a player. I remember that. So
I don't know. You know who I was a fan of all through my 11, 12? No, actually, 1995, I was 16. Always been a fan of Michael Vick. Been a big Vick guy.
Yeah, I know. You love Vick.
Yeah, fantastic. We won't get into it. But
you love Vick. We know. He's your most talented quarterback of all time.
All time. Yep.
It's just fucking wild.
He ran a 4.240.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No.
4.29. 4.29
no,
in the combine.
He didn't.
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
I'm going to produce that. Wednesday, I'm producing his 40 time.
We'll see it.
Yeah, 4.29.
I mean, I can just do this right now. Michael Vick's 40 time. 4.33.
See, that was like the stopwatch.
Told you.
The electric. We're talking
That's
about
his official 40 time.
0.04.
4.33.
0.04.
I mean, I know he didn't run in the 4.2s. No quarterback has ever ran a 4.2.
No quarterback's ever run in the 4.3s besides him.
Lamar didn't? No, that's right. He got a 4.4. That's true. Yeah, he got a 4.4. I mean, good for him. He also it didn't do him very much.
Well, he's the first quarterback ever to run for 1,000 yards in a season.
Sweet. How many games did he win?
That year, I don't know, 9-7.
Did he win a Super Bowl or an MVP ever, or have a completion percentage over 60, or was he just a really good running back?
No, he had a cannon for an arm, best arm of all time.
No. So now his arm's better than Dan Marino's?
Yes. And Elway's and
Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen and Kyler Murray's and Patrick Mahomes and Michael Vick is your best arm. Folks, this is where we're at here. This is what we have nothing to talk about. We just get outlandish, ridiculous shit.
It is the show. I feel about Michael Vick every episode with you. But we'll say thanks to everybody for commenting, particularly Triple Shot Sports, Mike and Mike in the Man Hour, Ben Grant. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate it and commenting. We do appreciate it. Oh, wait, what we got here? Vic could throw a ball end zone to end zone. Yeah, of course he could. He probably
so
with
can
his
Josh Allen.
right hand.
Shit, Odell
he has to
Beckham
really
can
try.
throw a ball 80 yards.
Well, Michael Vick can throw it 200 yards. So.
Oh.
Anyways, again, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Where the fuck is Kenny?
Where's Kenny? Let's see. Kenny, what's going on, man? Who won this argument?
It's over. Thank you. We love you.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen.